Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about Tegstove, my portable gas stove that has the ability to run on butane gas and produce electrical current to run LED lights or charge mobile phones or GoPro cameras. I'd like to start at the beginning. The reason why I came up with the concept in the first place is all really due to Rigsby, our 1972 Volkswagen camper van. We went travelling around France and Spain as a family, and we found that the camping stove solutions that are out there were really inadequate. You either had huge systems that had big propane tanks that you needed to carry around with you. When there's 4 of you travelling in a camper van with a little trailer on the back, there's not enough room to put everything. So space is premium. So we went and bought a camping stove, a little portable camping stove, and they ran on these things. These are mixed gas solutions. So these cylinders have got propane and butane or isobutane mixed together. They cost around, this one here costs £6.50, this one here costs £5.50. They work reasonably well in a sense that they have the ability of producing reasonable gas pressure so you can actually cook with. We did find that when you get towards the end of the cylinder, you normally end up with some gas left in the bottom that just doesn't want to come out. Effectively, from what I understand, that's the butane that's been left behind, or the propane has burnt off first, so you get some butane that you can't really use, and they are very expensive. So we went and bought these cylinders that work with a very cheap, common camping stove that you may have seen before. So these are widely available all over the world, and these are really quite cheap to buy. So we started using it, and we were disappointed in that within a few minutes the flame had started to die off, and as a result of that, it made it so the cooking times for everything was ridiculously long, even to the point where the flame would actually go out. And what's happening essentially is that the liquid gas in here, as it turns back into a vapor, which is what you need to cook, it creates what's called a negative thermoreaction. Basically means that the liquid becomes very cold. But the problem is that the colder it becomes, the less gas pressure it produces. So it means that whilst these cylinders are really, really cheap, they don't actually work in stoves particularly well. So it's a catch-22 situation. You pay a lot of money for the gas and it works better, but you still get a little bit of waste. Or you have these butane cylinders that are much, much cheaper, about a third the price, because these are about £1.50 each in the UK. And that obviously seems like a good solution until you actually use it and find that they fail pretty quickly. So I came up with the concept of Tegstove. So Tegstove really is all about overcoming these gas-related issues. It doesn't run on the expensive gases, it runs on the butane, the cheaper version. But essentially what we do is we use what's called a thermoelectric generator and heat transfer from the burner to actually warm the cylinder. So it stops the gas cylinder from freezing, which means that the butane works properly. So it means it's very, very efficient, very, very cost effective to run. As I say, these cylinders are about £1.50 each in the UK if you buy them individually, and they will run in this stove with the stove turned flat out running for about 2 hours, which is quite cost effective. There's a number of things we built into the design of Tegstove. Firstly, the legs that are here. These legs are designed with a ratchet system. That's what you can hear clicking there. And essentially it means that each leg can be slightly different lengths, so that then if the ground that you're putting it on isn't even, then you can make it so it all stands up nice and straight. We also built some pot arms on here that can take 2 different size pots and pans, so you can just make them smaller if you need to, or larger if you have bigger pots and pans. So when you put it down on the deck, you've got a good working height. Again, if you're sat in a camping chair or in the side of a camper van, certainly with a camper van, we didn't want to be cooking inside, we want to do it outside. So it gives you a good height to cook to. We found with these kind of stoves, you're really down on your knees trying to use it, so this gave a bit of elevation, so it's much easier to use. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get a little test underway just to show what's going on with gases and with the gas pressure that's being produced. So I've got 2 brand new cylinders here. I'm going to put the 2 cylinders into the 2 stoves, light them and have them running, and then we'll probably speed things up and maybe turn the lights out a little bit so that you can see the size of the flames, and you'll see that after about 5–10 minutes and so you can see the flames get smaller on this stove, and this will stay nice and powerful, hopefully. Also a byproduct of this process that we use to warm the gas cylinder, it uses what's called a thermoelectric generator that creates electrical current. We use a fan and we use heat transfers from the burner to actually warm the cylinder. The thermoelectric generator creates more energy than the fan needs, so the spare energy is stored in a 3000 milliamp battery that's here. The 3000 milliamp battery you can then use to run LED lights, or you can charge mobile phones or GoPro cameras or whatever else you need. In this instance here, to show the ability of the charging system, I've actually depleted it completely. So the battery is empty, it's got nothing left in it whatsoever. You can see we've got just one light at the bottom. We just got one light at the top rather, and in a few seconds that'll go out. If I plug a light into it, it will shut off actually straight away, because I've had an LED light running all night on it and it's completely empty, the battery. So the battery empty on that, so we're going to get straight on and put new cylinder in this stove. We're going to put new cylinder in our stove, and then I'm going to light them. I'm going to walk away and leave it so you guys can just see how the stoves sort of act whilst they're running over the next 20 minutes or so. So I'm just going to fire them both up. Okay, as you can see, the system's been running for about 10 minutes now. The flame on this one has died down quite a lot. If I put my hand over it, I can hold it quite close. There's not a huge amount of heat coming off of that. You can hear and see that this one is still roaring away, and I can't get any closer than that without burning myself. I'm going to shut all the lights off so that you can actually see the size of the flames a little bit better. And you notice the whole time the light's been flashing down here. That's been showing that the system has been charging. As I said before, the battery was completely depleted. This light that I have here, if I plug it in, there's a little button on the side to turn it on. You can see that's producing quite a lot of light, and with the stove running for about 20 minutes, it will produce around 40 minutes of light. So I'm going to go ahead now, turn the lights off in the room so that you can see the size of the flames. I'm not sure how well that is showing up on the camera. I'm just going to bring them a little bit closer so you can see. You can see our flame is running really quite nicely and quite powerful. Charging system's running. When you look at the other camping stove, you can see the flame is very weak. It blows out very easily.